No severe thunderstorm warning for Lucas County, but there's a very substantial, strong wind gust moving through. Estimates 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts just moved through West Toledo, and it's racing to the northeast.
Yeah, certainly probably going to put down some damage as the storm continues to move throughout the metro area. Along with that, again, probably some power flashes taking place across the city right now. We've had some here at the station as well.
We have. We just took one there.
One.
So please, if you're anywhere near or if you see people outside, get them inside. This gust could topple a tree without warning, could cause some damage, as you mentioned. So here it is on Live Doppler 13,000 HD. Again, there's no warning officially in effect for Lucas County or the parts of Ottawa County the storm's moving into, but we advise that you take cover here. North Toledo, downtown, Oregon, Curtis, Rocky Ridge, Oak Harbor, places like that. This storm really has kind of made its own wind from the gustiness that's above us in the storm. So it looks like it's in West Toledo now, near Trilby at 616 and near Shannon at 616. We have some live pictures, I believe, Ross, at the show, the dark gray clouds overhead. This is from downtown, and that's, of course, Fifth Third Field. The camera rocking.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Clay Center is right in the middle of this, too. There's a bit of a bow here. So we've now got a lot of reports in that are starting to stream in of a lot of damaging winds along this entire line. It started actually before it even got to Findlay. Findlay had a 70 mile per hour wind gust.
There is your point of rotation in the backside of this cell. So I'm going to come even a little bit closer and get really into a neighborhood view with Northwest Ohio's only live radar. So we're going to put on a storm track from the back edge of the storm. And again, this storm moving to the east at about 50 miles per hour. So making its way towards Sandusky in the next 10 minutes or so. That's when you want to take cover. So it's right along Route 2, Route 6, not too far away from this either. Not towards 250 yet. If you're out towards the mall in Sandusky, you're going to start to hear some rain coming in pretty soon. But this is not something that you want to wait for the actual rain to start sounding. You want to get into your safe place near Sandusky and Cedar Point and put yourself into position to take cover.
We're starting with, we have 13 ABC's Mackenzie Keyline. She's at the ODOT Salt Dome with how the crews are trying to stay ahead of it, and our reporter, meteorologist Kelly Hydrater. She's out on the roadways herself.
Nicole is here, obviously tracking any backups, TPD and operating under a phase 2. We'll get to her in a moment, but first let's start off with meteorologist Ben Cathy and Blizzard Bill Spencer bringing you that team coverage for the First Warning Forecast Center all morning long. Guys, we're talking about how we're going to see that burst later on.
Yes. Yeah, exactly right. So we're tracking things very carefully. All the meteorologists here and working overnight, of course, as we've seen more than an inch of snow in most places. Bill, several heavy bands still to move in. And if you're just waking up, 7:34 right now, we knew this would happen. Some people thinking, hey, you know, all the snow is going to be here this morning. Nope, the heavy stuff later on today.
Yeah, certainly conditions out there beginning to, or not beginning, but continues to deteriorate quite a bit.
It is pretty bad out there. Roads now completely snow covered. The crew's trying to keep up, but the wind is not allowing that with it blowing back on the road, the snow. Here's a look once again at Live Doppler 13,000 HD. Shows temperatures here in the 20s in southeast Michigan and extreme northwest Ohio. But notice in Findlay, even though you're at 34, you do have some moderate to heavy snow that mixes just down to your south. And that's why this area, areas like southern Hancock County, Seneca County, Wyandotte County may end up with a little bit less in the way of snow. But as we zoom back out now, Viper HD shows the system here to our west extends way back there, so snowfall for several more hours. Lots of moisture here and that gusty northeast wind as we look at current conditions outside. 24 degrees is the current temperature. We have that wind here from the northeast gusting over 35 miles per hour. Once again on our weather system showing the temp. I believe we have that northeast breeze. All right, there you go, 24, and that's the outdoor storm lab where Ross was standing. So you can even see there just some of that drifting, like over here on the other side of the sign. So just you're going to see that throughout the area, especially open fields and areas that can get that northeast wind. Below freezing all day long, and the wind chill also a factor if you're outside shoveling this evening. That makes it feel more like 8 degrees. With more in the warnings and the amounts of snowfall we're expecting for you where you live, here is meteorologist Ross Ellett.
Well, that winter storm warning continues for all of the viewing area here as you head south of Allen and Wyandotte County. There's advisories posted because more of that mix will be involved, but for all of our counties, still a lot of snow. expected, and the wind becomes a big issue overnight tonight. We're beginning to notice that now with top wind gusts between 30 and 35 miles per hour. So here we go, 6 o'clock. We know it's snowing heavily across the area. Doppler showed us that. Those dark blues continue here throughout the next several hours. I think between now and about 11 o'clock for tonight, that's that window of opportunity. We've been tracking it all day for the last couple of days. That's that window of opportunity for the really heavy snow to be moving throughout the area. Notice as we head towards 10 o'clock midnight, some of those blues becoming much lighter here in nature, and we do think the snowfall intensity will begin to slow down just a bit as we head towards 4 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning as you wake up. Unfortunately, the winds will keep on going, but the snow will shut off here as we continue to head towards later on for your Monday and going into Tuesday. Some calmer weather expected as well. These totals have not changed since last night, so expecting most areas in that 10 to 14 inch band. Again, lighter amounts. Somewhat lighter amounts here towards the south. Findlay still looking at 6 to 10 inches of snowfall, but more of a mix and a heavier wet snow expected for the southern part of our area. So for tonight, 9 degrees expected. We'll fall to those very cold temperatures by early tomorrow morning. Heavy snow expected, becoming lighter for tomorrow, but it's the winds that'll cause a big concern. Tomorrow, 12 degrees for your high. Really, temperatures will be steady throughout most of the day here for us. Down to 2 below zero. That is going into Tuesday morning. Another clipper Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, 1 to 3 inches expected with that. And the real cold comes in Thursday and Friday. A lot of Arctic air, Jay, settles in down to 5 to 10 below zero towards the end of the week.
And we're seeing numerous closings come in for tomorrow, so check out the bottom of the TV screen, or if you have a cell phone or computer, check out 13abc.com. That list has really grown in the past 2 hours.
And sure, it probably will continue to do so.
It will so overnight. So stay with us. Team coverage continues tonight throughout the evening and during the 11 o'clock news. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. Stay with us and stay safe.
Arctic air is coming in for tonight, and we have 2 big surges here. 5 out of the next 7 days has the potential here of getting down to near even breaking record lows. We're going to be very close to that. 5 out of the next 7 mornings. That starts with overnight tonight. And yeah, a lot of hours here below freezing, about 11 days now. But look at this stat, 158 hours to go here, meaning around this time next Sunday, actually a little bit before that, we should finally break through the freezing mark. Right now, 21 degrees, clouds in place, west wind around 10 miles per hour, makes it feel like 10, but that's very warm compared to what's on the way. Again, a wind chill advisory in effect for overnight tonight. Look at this crash in temperature. So 1 o'clock, we're at 30, 21 here at 7 o'clock. Look out, 3 by 1 o'clock in the morning, but we still have a big drop to go. And by tomorrow as you wake up, we're expecting temperatures to be around 12 below zero, just a 42-degree temperature drop and less than 18 hours on the way.
It is still raining, and the weather is our lead story tonight. We're tracking the damage and the flooding with live team coverage tonight. The entire area under a flood watch or warning at this hour. And since weather is topping the news, we brought in Bill Spencer. He's watching the radar to see when this rain is going to move out. Bill?
Well, Bill, good evening to you and everybody else. Certainly some good news. Yes, I see signs that this storm is beginning to pull away. It'll take the overnight hours to get completely gone. Let's take a peek at live Doppler 13,000 HD. Look at that ball of energy. And if you recall last week, I kept talking about this weird June storm. The gusty northeasterly winds just pumping down the wind and the rain, something you would see in October in early November. But you can see at least, especially Toledo back to the west, the rain is starting to diminish. If there's another place for concern, it would have to be right along this lake shore with that northerly and northeasterly fetch coming right across the lake, just pounding the lake shore with rain. So if there's going to be a problem overnight, it's going to be right in this area, right in here, because you still got moisture coming across. How much rain have we had the past 24 hours on our Viper system? Look at this here. The bulk of the rain has been from Toledo back to Fulton County. In fact, let's shift over to Viper and show the folks that rainfall. And you can see, look at Adrian, Lenawee County, Fulton County, 4 to 5 inches of rain. How about Lucas County? Anywhere from 2 to as much as 4 inches of rain. As you went southward, a little bit less. Thank goodness for the Blanchard River. You didn't get 5 inches of rain, but there is some river issues going on out there. And I think the more significant event on river, the Maumee River at Grand Rapids, cresting tomorrow at 18.4 feet. That's only a tenth of an inch away from winding up being at the 100-year flood. That's at Grand Rapids. Have to keep an eye on that. And the Blanchard River is in minor flood stage. How about 60 degrees when you step outside at this hour? The winds are still gusty from the northeast. That's what's going to happen overnight is rain and wind, but it will be diminishing except the lakeshore. Bill, that's where the issue is going to be, and we'll talk more about that in your 7-day and predictor. Stay tuned.
The flooding may be worst along the Lake Erie shoreline where the wind and the waves have really made a mess. 13 ABC meteorologist Ben Cathy is in Oregon with how homeowners are weathering this storm. Ben?
We are on Star Avenue in Oregon, not too far away from the Little Caesars and the Circle K gas station. And, you know, on a morning commute, you could come down Star Avenue and not even realize you're crossing over a bridge. But as you see this car going over, about 6 inches of water in the middle of the road on Otter Creek. And there's some nearby homes, too. We talked to one of the folks that lives in those. They have several feet of water in their basement, only a couple of feet away from the electrical panel. We talked to another renter on Jackman who had 3 sump pumps working to get all the water out.
I'm so overwhelmed with the water that's just coming in, and there's no way to stop it. I mean, I don't know if it's the city, I don't know if it's the sewer department. You know, I'm not quite sure exactly where it's coming from, but I'm sure I'm not the only one that's going through it.
Now Star Avenue is open right here again at Otter Creek, but take a look at this. For the past hour or so, these manhole covers have basically been turning into fountains and geysers. Hopefully the water is safe, but of course this road's still open. There are high water markers posted, but this is a great opportunity to remind you, if you cannot see the bottom of the road, and there is current in this creek, by the way, we want you to turn around. Don't drown. We've seen some cars making the right decision and turning around. There are other alternate routes around here. For now, reporting live in Oregon, I'm meteorologist Ben Cathy, 13 ABC Action News.
So many hard-hit areas over the weekend from all of that rain. One was west of Toledo, and now that rain, that moisture causing some pretty significant river flooding once again. 13 ABC's meteorologist Ross Ellie giving us a tour of the areas hardest hit.
While the flash flooding has come to an end, all of that water has to go somewhere. And now it's running down the streams, the creeks, and the rivers, and for Grand Rapids, right through downtown. While the water at this point is almost up to my knees, those historic floods back in 1904, 1913 were over my head. The unusual part was some of those biggest floods took place in the spring or even the late winter. This time around, it's a whole new ballgame with a flood in the middle of the summer.
Never this late in the season. Usually we're fishing over here and having fun with the river.
This is the highest we've ever seen it here. We've been here 9 years this month, and this is the worst we've ever seen.
Ron Monk is the owner of the Millhouse Bed and Breakfast, and he is fighting to keep the water out.
We have 2 electric pumps, we have a gas pump going, and our goal is just to keep ahead of it. It comes in, and we want to get it out before it gets too high.
Downriver in Perrysburg, the wall of water has trashed boat docks, and fish are getting stuck along the roads and yards. The Tiffin River and Stryker reach major flood stage today. Currently, the flood is the 4th largest on record. In Toledo, the Swan Creek is also threatening homes.
We plan on putting sandbags, starting from over here, go around the perimeter of my house and try to divert the flow around it.
The water level has jumped 3 feet overnight.
So right now it's in the crawl space. It's all pretty high in my garage. Everything in my garage is starting to float.
10 to 15 inches of rain has now fallen in the last month, and everybody in the flood zone is desperately waiting for some drier weather, even as a couple light showers continue to fall. Reporting, Ross Elliott, 13 ABC Action News.